Today I'm going to present you with a brief overview of Google Apps for Education. I'm going to discuss a little bit about what Google Apps is, why districts are choosing to use Google Apps for Education, and then go through the process of logging in the very first time to a Google Apps for Education account. So Google Apps for Education is a suite of different Google products that you can use through your school district's login credentials. You have access generally to Google Drive, which is a suite of productivity apps like a word processor, a spreadsheet program, and a presentation tool, kind of like Microsoft PowerPoint. You also have access to a calendar and a website creator called Sites. And in some cases, schools also are using this for their email, the Google Gmail feature. In a lot of cases, though, Gmail is disabled and you'll continue to use whatever email product you've been using, like Microsoft Outlook or Novell. So Google Apps for Education is quite a bit different from a personal account, primarily because of the ways that it's used. A personal account would be used for making documents for a birthday party that you're planning, or sending emails to family and friends. Whereas a Google Apps for Education account is really about creating documents and sharing and collaborating with either colleagues or with students. And an important part about that is that you need to have a Google Apps account for education if you're going to be working with student accounts in order to be in compliance with different federal laws like FERPA and privacy, and also as far as creating accounts for students. So a Google Apps for Education account lets a district create accounts for staff and students very quickly using the existing usernames and IDs that they have, and then it lets them manage those accounts and have control over those accounts so that they can be in compliance with federal laws. In order to get started with Google Docs, you'll want to download a modern web browser on your computer. The Chrome web browser that's created by Google is the recommended browser that you can use, and it's a free download. It's very simple to install, and in most cases teachers can install this on their own computers and student computers without administrative rights. However, your district may also have another method for putting Chrome on there. If you're using an iPad, you'll want to use either the Chrome app or the Safari browser for your initial sign-in. And then you'll need a district ID and Google account. You'll be given a temporary password that you would use to log in. So your Google Apps ID and password, typically it's going to be the email address that you use at your school district, and then this temporary password that you would use. That's either going to be sent to you via an email, and it might be a kind of a complicated code of characters and numbers and letters, or a generic password that is given out to everyone in the district to use to create their initial login. You'll then be prompted to put that temporary password in one last time and then create your own private personal account. So that's typically how you would get started signing in. I'll now take you through that process and show you a little bit more about what it looks like. I typically recommend that folks go to drive.google.com as a place for logging into their Google Apps account, predominantly because Google Drive is one of the main products from the Google Apps suite that schools are using. So when you get there, you'll want to put in your username, and then put in the temporary password that you were given and sign in. After you put in your temporary password, you'll be brought to a Google Accounts Terms of Service page, and at the bottom of that page you'll have a CAPTCHA code that you'll need to enter in. Some of these are pretty difficult at times, so if you don't get it the first time, just try it again until you do get it. And I'll just have to scroll down here and click I accept. And I was successful. So now I'm going to put in that temporary password that I was given, and I'll put in my new password and click submit. So now I have a private password. From here I'm going to be brought to the Google Drive home page. This is my dashboard for all of the documents that I'll be creating. And you'll also notice up here I have access now to the calendar as well as YouTube and other different features. So that'll get you started with the Google Apps for Education. I will show you when you log out that this is sort of the splash page that a district would have, where you do not need to put in the full email address when you're logging in. So if you're brought to a screen that has your school district's name on it, all you would do is put in the username and not the full email address. So just one more thing to keep in mind if you do see this page, instead of going directly to one of the Google sites, Google Docs or Google Calendar, and logging in from there.